our English camp with the theme Through English Camp, let your words flow, let your word glow. For our Zoom participant, please feel free to use the chat box to interact with us. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. I truly hope that this event will give us a big advantage in the future. In this special afternoon, I would like to outline all the agendas. First, opening. Second, singing Indonesia Raya. Third, speech from Mr. Agus Khairul Anam. Fourth, delivering material from Mr. Alan. Fifth, competition. Sixth, break time. And seven, movie night. For the next agenda, let's show our respect and love for our country by singing a national anthem, Indonesia Raya, followed by Poltekkes hymn. All of my audience, please stand up. The audience, please sit down. The next agenda is welcome speech will be delivered by Mr. Agul Khairul Anam, SST MCAP. So, Mr. Agus, time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much for master ceremony. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable Mr. Alan, as a native speaker for England. Honorable my best friend, Pak Wiratno, MPD. He is my lecturer. Exactly my friend in STKIP Blitar, lecturer training, English training in Blitar in Kalimantan Street. And then thank you very much for your attendance, all of the students, the first grade, and Miss Irka as an instructor, and then all of the committee here. And thank you very much for all supporting from others program study exactly in Polkesma. Maybe start from Ponorogo, Trenggalek, Kediri, Lawang, Malang, Jember, still in maybe in Zoom. Thank you very much for support from head of Polytechnic of Malang, director, and then head of Blitar Nursing Study Program, Miss Wiwin. From this event, I hope the first, you try to speak English as well as you can. And I believe this event is very important for you to improve your English ability. And now, yeah, maybe for 5 minutes before I go to here, Mbak Lutfi in set graduation ya, insert your upper grade, kakak kelas Anda, in final exam, measure the motivation speaking English in emergency room, and then try to test in the properly test in English. Almost all of the students not have good motivation to speak English. I think not only in the emergency room, on the other room in the hospital, but also in this campus. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have good motivation to try to using English. Maybe many factor here. Yeah, maybe shy to speak English, malu. Yeah, in bahasa maybe malu, and afraid to make mistake, or not grammatically, not understandable, and etc. And then unfortunately, almost all of the lecturer here never try to speak English in front of the class, unfortunately. But by this activity, English Camp 2025, I hope as the delivered by Ms. Irka, all of the students here, the first, you must have good motivation to improve your English ability. Because if you cannot speak English, yeah, as well as you can, this is the big problem in future. Yeah, maybe 10 years ago, if I cannot operate the computer, I think there is no problem. But now, if you cannot operate the computer, this is the big problem for us. And now, if we cannot speak English well, exactly the lecturer here, that is the big problem for the lecturer, because they must join in international conference and then guest lecturer in the other country. Yeah, this is the big problem for us. I hope not only in Blitar nursing study program, but also on the other program, in the other study program in Head Polytechnic of Malang. Yeah, lecturer must be able to motivate the student using English, not only for students, but also for all of the lecturer in Head Polytechnic of Malang. And I believe all of you here agree with my opinion. If we make class, yeah, maybe as well as we can using English, yeah, in discussion, in answer and question, and then maybe in writing, yeah, as well as we can. And then by this event, Ms. Wiwin, as the head of Blitar Nursing Staff Program, to say to me to deliver this program exactly how to prove your English ability here by all of the activity. Yeah, maybe I read this activity for today. Yeah, is it right? Today's 2 hari? Yeah, 2 hari. Yeah, from apa? Maybe movie time and then fun exercise, fun English game, and then English podcast. This is good environment for us to improving English ability. And for Mr. Alan and Mr. Wirano, maybe we try to force our children using English since 2005. Yeah, 2005. But unfortunately, yeah, maybe there are relationship between motivation to get job in abroad with English motivation, exactly in speaking. If we don't have a motivation to get job in abroad, bekerja ke luar negeri, tidak punya motivasi bekerja ke luar negeri, they don't have good motivation to improve English ability. And I believe if you have a goal after graduated from Blitar Nursing Staff Program, get job in the other country, Middle East, Europe, and America, Australia, yeah, maybe you have self-motivation to improve your English ability. And then we have many activities to improve our student, yeah, to hanging vocabulary and floor and wall vocabulary to improve our vocabulary, and then podcast English podcast, and then maybe guest lecture in English. Yeah, all of the activity to improve our English ability and making good environment to improve our English ability. And the last, thank you very much for the committee, exactly for UKM English Club, yeah, English Club, delivered by instructor Miss Irka and Miss Dewi, yeah. Miss Dewi as a instructor in English club, and I believe supporting by Mr. Wirano and Mr. Alan, this activity run well, and then the goal, enjoy, fun, and you love English motivation, you love English language to facing global era, to facing your future. And I believe if after graduated from nursing academy, you try to get job in the other country to making a big money for you, yeah, maybe you get your black future good after graduate from Blitar Nursing Study Program. I think that's all. Thank you very much. Keep your spirits, and I hope all of the member of the participant here, yeah, join this program up to finally, ya, up to closing ceremony, ya, sampai penutupan. Jangan sampai tidak ada yang ikut, ya, semuanya ikut. Terus berikan apa semangat yang bagus, ya, untuk dalam berbahasa Inggris, biar menular, ya. To all of the lecturer here, try to speak English, ya. Okay, thank you very much, and forgive me because Miss Wiwin go to head government head department to join the activity and deliver me to open ceremony. And thank you very much for your participation. And finally, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Mr. Agus, for the inspiring words. Let's continue with our first session. Welcome, Mr. Alan, who will be sharing valuable material with us And I hope for all the participants will take notice from the beginning of the material till the end. Mr. Alan, time is yours.
Hello. Assalamualaikum. Okay. My name is Alan Sage. Could I have the first slide? The first slide? First slide? Yeah. Okay, yeah, my name is Alan Sage and I'm from, I was born in London, in England, and I came to Indonesia about 5-6 years ago. And we just wait for the first slide. Yeah. Okay, there you go. And I'll talk to you a little bit about English language, English culture, and a little bit about our health service as well in England. Yeah, next slide. Next slide. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. On here, is that okay? Or in here? Is that better? Okay, yes. Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, so England is on the right here. And if you include Wales and Scotland, that makes up what's called Great Britain. And if you include Northern Ireland, then that's called the United Kingdom. So it's similar to Indonesia in that it's made up of several different regions or countries, or what used to be individual countries, but is now all part of the United Kingdom. So like you have Kalimantan, Java, and Sumatra, for example. We have Scotland, England, Ireland, and Wales, and that makes up the United Kingdom. We also have about 32 overseas territories, which would include places like the Falkland Islands, the Virgin Islands, Bahamas, and many other islands dotted around the globe. And so I'll come to language a bit later. So yeah, this slide shows the Houses of Parliament, because we have a Prime Minister, and then beneath that we have many MPs, and they reside in the House of Commons and the House of Lords. So the House of Commons are voted, yeah, with the public vote for the members of Parliament, and then they appoint a Prime Minister once we decide which party comes into Parliament. The House of Lords is appointed by members of Parliament, so you don't vote for the House of Lords, but they're appointed by the representatives in government, and that's like the first check against our members of Parliament. And all of that happens in the Houses of Parliament. This is the old traditional building with Big Ben, you might recognise. And the building on the right, that's the new Parliament, and that's where most of the administration work happens now. So it's similar to your politics here, but just a little bit different. And we have now also appointed a Welsh Assembly for Wales, and there's a Scottish Parliament as well. So we're kind of like giving other territories within the United Kingdom, we give them more political say, so they have more direct politics. Okay, next slide. We also have a monarchy, royal family, and Prince Charles was, after Queen Elizabeth II, Prince Charles took over, become King Charles. I think it was a year or two ago now. And the main building on the top right, that's Buckingham Palace. And then there's many, I think they have about 50 castles in the UK. There's like Sandringham, Edinburgh, this is Hampton Court, Buckingham Palace again at the bottom. And so they have many castles, but the monarchy, although it exists, it's more ceremonial. It is not it's not as political as it used to be, and it's more ceremonial or ambassadorial. They would go around to different countries and have like an ambassadorial role to sort of keep friends with many different countries and to add like an added layer of warmth to other countries so that it's not just political speak. This on the bottom left is the changing of the guard, and that happens 2 or 3 times a day. And it's a very popular tourist attraction that people come to watch. And I think you used to have royal family here. I think Kalimantan and Central Java had royal families, but again, they're no longer, like here, they no longer have any powers within the government. They are largely cultural here, whereas in England they have some authority, but not much. They still meet with the Prime Minister, I think once a week or once a month, and they just talk about the overall quality of the country or how things overall are going. They don't get involved in like micromanaging politics. They just look at the overall policies and the overall direction of the country. Many people still love the royal family, and some people not so keen on them. But I think to most foreigners, they like the royal family because all the fancy carriages, the fancy jewelry, and all the ceremony and everything that goes with it. Plus, there's a lot of history because I can't remember the first king, but it was about, I think it was 1800 years ago was the first king. So we've had a royal family for a long, long time, a lot of history. Okay, next slide, please. We like a lot of sport in England. I know you guys here like a lot of sport. Maybe here you like sort of badminton, basketball, I think you play a lot of. And in England, football is our biggest sport. I'm sure most of you know Chelsea, Man United, or Manchester City, or whoever. There's many football clubs, and that's our biggest sport. Rugby is our second biggest sport. It's played with an oval-shaped ball, and it's a very physical game. I don't think you play it here in Indonesia, but it is played in like New Zealand and Australia and Tonga, many places nearby. Tennis is another big sport for England, and we have Wimbledon every year. We've had moderate success in tennis. Cricket is also a big sport in England, but we've never been any good at it. But people enjoy playing it, and I don't think we've won anything in cricket. So, and motorsport was, particularly Formula One, was founded in the UK. The first F1 race was in England, and it's a global sport, but it's still really, really popular in England. Maybe here GP motor racing is more, because it's on bikes, is maybe more popular. but in England, the Formula One or other car racing is more popular. This photo is also of the England football team in '66, which is the only time we won the World Cup. I think Indonesia is still to qualify for World Cup. I think they haven't qualified yet. But I think they're doing better and better each year. So hopefully in the coming years, you might see your Indonesian national team playing in the World Cup, hopefully very soon. Okay, next slide, please. So I know here everybody loves food. Wherever I go in Indonesia, everybody wants to feed you and give you food. It's like a sign of hospitality, a sign of friendship here. It's a sign, a way to meet and greet people. But in the top left is our most popular English dish, which is curry. Yeah, it's not English at all. So English love Indian food, and they like spicy food, but not really spicy food, just food with a lot of flavor, like turmeric and cinnamon and things like that. So our most popular dish is Indian food. We also have a very famous English full breakfast, which is a heavy fried breakfast. It's got bacon, sausage, eggs, black pudding, usually fried bread, baked beans, maybe mushrooms, and a cup of tea. And traditionally, that was our common breakfast. But it's very high in calories and high in fats because it's fried. So it's not that good for you. So most people today just eat regular like toast or cereals, maybe fruit, tea, coffee. They tend not to have such a big breakfast like that because it's just too heavy on your stomach. And if you eat it every day, it's not very good for you. But if you're working hard every day, like doing physical labor in, either in farming or agriculture or in forestry or building, any physical labor, you would burn those calories very fast because it's not very hot in the UK. So when you're working hard, you will burn a lot of calories. There's also here a roast dinner, which is, this one's roast beef with Yorkshire puddings, potatoes, and some peas and carrots. Sometimes the roast dinner might be chicken or other type of meat. But this one's roast beef with gravy. And sometimes, as I say, it might be roast turkey, roast chicken, roast duck, or any type of bird or meat. And that's usually a dish we'd have on a Sunday or on a weekend with the family. There's also fish and chips in the bottom right, and that's a very common dish. Even now, we'd still have fish and chips. Here, you probably have fish a lot, but maybe you have rice and fish. But we would have it with potatoes, fried potatoes. Above that is a shepherd's pie, which is like a meat dish with vegetables and minced meat, usually beef, but here you might have goat or something instead. And on top, it's got mashed potato and is then baked. So that's a shepherd's pie, or sometimes if it's a vegetarian version, then it might be called cottage pie. But because it's shepherd's pie, they have lamb, so it'd be made with lamb meat, minced meat. And again, that's a very traditional English dish. In the center is a dish called pottage. It's a bit like a soup or a broth, but it's very thick. And it'd have like a dry bread in the bottom, and then this thick broth or soup on top. And it's called pottage. It was our most common dish going back about 100 years or so back, but now nobody eats it. It's considered like a poor dish, poor person's dish, so nobody eats it. But it is actually really, really tasty. It's got lots of vegetables and lots of flavor, and you get like the soup texture, and then you'll get the crusty bread in the bottom, but it's soaked up all the flavor from the soup. So it's really nice. And that traditionally was our most famous dish or most common dish, but now it's our rarest, probably our rarest dish. At the bottom is Scotch egg, which comes from the north of England, and it's like a boiled egg covered in like a meat pate, and then rolled in breadcrumbs and then deep fried. So I think a lot of Indonesians might like that because it's got the boiled egg, the meat, and the breadcrumbs, and you like a lot of dishes with those types of ingredients. So those are some of the more common traditional dishes we would have in the UK. And it's fairly different to the food here because here you have a lot more rice dishes. Although we eat Chinese food and some Japanese food, and we eat a lot of curry with rice, we wouldn't have rice like 2-3 times a day as you do here. We might just have it 2-3 times a week, something like that. So we also eat a lot of food, like we have a lot of restaurants, global restaurants. So we might have like a Mexican restaurant, Italian restaurant, might have a Thai restaurant, Chinese, Indian. So when you go to the high street, there's a wide range of foods available, global foods. But interestingly, there's not many Indonesian restaurants at all. So if any of you are looking for a career in food, maybe you could go to the UK and set up a traditional Indonesian restaurant. Maybe. Okay. Next slide, please. In the afternoon, we also have something called high tea or afternoon tea. And that's a lot of sweet pastries and sandwiches. So you have like bread with maybe ham or salad or other things inside the sandwich. But alongside it, you'd have like scones or donuts or other sweet pastries. And you'd have it with a cup of tea, not coffee, just tea. And it's a very, English afternoon tea or high tea. Used to be really, really common, but in the modern age, it's become less popular. And maybe people only go to a restaurant or something for high tea. They wouldn't have high tea at home. They would just make a cup of tea and maybe have a sandwich with it. But traditionally, it was a very big meal. And you bring out all your fancy china plates and dishes and cups, and you'd have your best tea and your best cakes and pastries. So that's something maybe you don't experience here is afternoon tea. Normally your meals are very similar, your breakfast similar to your lunch and similar to your dinner. And maybe you stop for coffee or something in the morning or certain points in the day, but maybe it's not so common to stop for tea. Unless it's a sweet jasmine tea, maybe you drink a lot of jasmine tea. So, our food is different to Indonesian food. And maybe it has more of a global influence because of the influences from the British Empire, from India, from Africa, from Latin America. So we have a lot of food that you might eat on a regular basis that isn't English. So it's slightly different to what you would have here. Next slide, please. So English language has become a very common language. It's become the biggest international or global language. If you go back many, many years, like here, we would have had many different languages. So here maybe you speak Balinese, Sundanese, Javanese, Dayak, Aceh, whatever. You have all these different tribes. They all have their own language. That was the same in the UK. We had like Pictish, we had Druids, we had Cumbric, Celtic, Cornish, Anglo-Saxon, Gaelic. We had many, many different languages. And in each region, they would speak either a different language or a different dialect. And English sort of developed from those and was heavily influenced from like Germanic and Latin languages. And although none of these, apart from Welsh, Irish, and Scottish, none of those are spoken commonly in the UK. Although now we do have a lot of foreigners living in the UK, they tend to speak English, but they sometimes bring French or German or Romanian, whatever. They bring their own language with them, but they will speak a lot of English or speak some English. But many people don't realize that traditionally we had hundreds of languages, just like you do here in Indonesia. So that's something maybe it's fairly that we share with you. It's fairly, you now have a national language, Indonesian, and you also speak some international languages like English and maybe Chinese or Arabic. So it's an interesting subject. Next slide, please. So English is the most commonly spoken language globally. 1.5 billion people speak it, behind Chinese at 1.2 billion. When I looked at this list the other day, I was surprised that Indonesian is actually the 10th most spoken language on the planet. And it's much higher than I expected. I thought it'd be much lower. But those are the top five: English, Chinese, Spanish, Hindi, and then Arabic. Obviously, with Hindi, Chinese, and Arabic, there's maybe some regional dialect. They won't all speak exactly the same. There'll be some variation in those global languages. So there's many reasons to learn a foreign language. It can help you mentally to learn things and learn about a new culture and learn about a new language, number systems, counting, those types of things. And that can help you in many different ways. And it also helps expand your knowledge and how you learn, because you'll learn more about a culture. If you learn Chinese, you'll learn a lot more about Chinese culture. If you learn Arabic, you learn more about Arabic culture. If you learn to speak English, you'll learn more about English culture, which includes not just England, but also other English-speaking nations like America, Australia, Canada. There's many English-speaking nations. So it can really broaden your prospects in the future to learn an international language. It's used in business, in nursing, in technology, used in like applications and those types of things. So it can really help expand your knowledge and your opportunities in the future. If you decide to change paths later in life, you have more opportunities if you can speak a second international language. There's so many businesses and opportunities if you're bilingual or multilingual. So it's good to learn a foreign language, whether it's English, Chinese, Spanish, or any of those languages. You can also have a lot of fun with learning language. So could I have 3 volunteers who might like to try a little bit of English? 3 volunteers? Three brave volunteers? Oh. Hello, what's your name?
My name is Keisha.
Geisha. Okay, and can we have two more volunteers? Next slide as well, actually. Okay. Okay. What is your name?
It is Isna. Isna.
Isna. Okay,
Yes.
come and join Geisha. And one more. Let's have one of the guys, one of the brave guys. Okay, what's your name?
Rafli.
Okay, come and join Geisha. Okay, so although you can learn English in a very formal way, yeah, you can also play games with it and have fun with it. It doesn't always have to be serious. You can sometimes laughing and joking and making funny jokes is a better way to learn a language because it's more fun. So if people make mistakes or you don't understand what they're saying, it's okay, yeah? So, okay, can you read this out for me?
1-1 was a racehorse. 2-2 was 1-2. When 1-1 won one race, 2-2 won 1-2. What is this?
Okay. Did we have the next slide? Yeah. I purposely didn't show you the slide first because it doesn't make sense if you just hear it, yeah?
Again.
Try again.
Try again. Oh, why? 1-1 was a racehorse. 2-2 was 1-2.
Yeah.
When 1-1 won one race, 2-2 won.
1-2.
2-2 won 1-2.
It's funny, huh?
2-2 won 1-2.
Very good, well done.
Oh, well done. Yes.
So in English, one can mean I win. It can mean singular, yeah. And then it can also mean like 1-1 could be somebody's name, yeah, like a funny racehorse, yeah. So if you just hear it without seeing which one is which one, yeah, it doesn't make sense, does it? If I just say 1-1 was a racehorse, 2-2 was 1-2, then 1-1, 1-1 racehorse, 2-2, 1-1, 2. It's just 1-1, 2-2, 2-2, 1-1. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the other thing with English, particularly if you're Asian, is you find certain words difficult to pronounce. Yes. So this one is a little bit more difficult. Okay. Okay.
Fresh fried fish, fish fresh fried fish fresh, fish fried fresh. Thank you.
Yeah, that was very, very good. That was better than I expected. Well done. So when people say like fried fish, especially if you're maybe from other parts of Asia, like Japanese or Chinese, saying fresh fried fish, fish fresh fried fish fresh, fish fried fresh. It's quite difficult even for an English person to say that. So I understand when you have problems pronouncing English, I sympathize. Yeah. if you find things like this on the internet, you can also try saying them really, really fast. Yeah, so start off slowly and then slowly get faster and faster until you can perfect your pronunciation. Okay. Okay. Next one. What was your name again? Sorry. Rafik. Rafli. Okay. This one's a bit easier for him. So. Next slide, please.
If two witches were watching two witches, which is which, what's which, what?
Can you try saying it a little bit faster?
If two witches were watching two witches. Again. If two witches were watching two witches, which is what's which, what?
Very good, round of applause. Okay, so well done. A round of applause for these three. You can sit down again. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, sometimes learning a language or learning a subject can be too serious. So sometimes having fun with it can just make it easier and make it more entertaining to perfect your pronunciation or your knowledge of English or other languages. So when you're learning, do have fun with it as well, yeah? So also because I noticed this is like nursing school, yes, you're here learning nursing. So I had a quick look at nursing in the UK because we have a body called the NHS, the National Health Service. Next slide, please. And National Health Service have been going now for about 78 years. They had their 75th anniversary a few years ago. And in England, we have a National Health Service that provides healthcare for the whole nation. And in some cases, it's free. And in other cases, it's much cheaper or subsidized. So you can get better healthcare, even if you're poor or if you're on a low income or if you're single or you have no family or you have no finance, you're still able to access reasonably good healthcare. So, that they provide that service to everybody in the UK. There's also some private nursing and private healthcare, and that tends to be for like private insurance companies or people that are very, very wealthy and can afford private services. So, but the NHS, it employs staff from all over the world. So there's people from India, people from Peru, people from Uganda, people from everywhere. So as long as you can speak English and you're got a fully qualified nurse, you can work for the NHS. So although you can work in your own country here, or you could work in other countries such as China or America, wherever, once you are qualified, you could work in the NHS in the UK, as long as you can speak some English. You don't have to be an expert at English, but you need to be competent, yeah, just reasonably competent. So, yeah, so you must be a qualified nurse, speak English, and there are 4.7 million nurses in the UK approximately, which is a lot. So that's a big opportunity, is a big employment opportunity in the UK. Nursing salaries in the UK start at around £30,000 per annum, which is about, I think, 660 million rupiah per year. But obviously, if you're living in the UK, you would have UK expenses like UK tax, you'd have UK rent or mortgage, for housing. Plus the food is very expensive, and having a vehicle or a motorbike is also expensive. So although it sounds like a lot of money for somebody living in Indonesia, that money soon goes because everything is expensive. Yeah, food and entertainment, everything you buy in the UK is very expensive. But it's still a good opportunity for qualified nurses or for business people to come to the UK. And as I say, even if you didn't work in the NHS, there is private sector as well. And I didn't look into like the US or Australia or New Zealand or wherever, Canada, but there's plenty of other English-speaking nations that you could also work in as possible future careers. Next slide, please. So the cost of training in the UK, if you, similar to here, I don't know how much you pay here at this college, but if you went to the UK, the lowest tuition fees are about 14,000 to 30,000 for the 3-year bachelor's course. And that's about 300 million to 660 million rupiah. That's for a 3 years bachelor's degree. And there are fully funded scholarships available, but you would need to have very good sort of pre-bachelor degree qualifications. You know, you need the standard needs to be very high for people who are getting scholarships. But there are scholarships given to people all over the world, as I say, from India, from Africa, from China, from many different places. But that's why it makes it very competitive. So you do need to be like in the top 1% of your subject to be able to get scholarship, fully funded scholarships. But if you got a bachelor's degree in the UK after the 3-year course, 94% of those people who qualify, they get a job within 6 months, which is a very high percentage of uptake into a career after getting a degree. Many people leave college and have a degree, but maybe don't get the job they want. So it's something you might want to explore as a possibility in the future. If you can speak English and you're looking to work abroad, it doesn't have to be for life. You might decide to go for 5, 10 years, or just go to learn and then come back here or go to another country. So it's an opportunity for you to, if you qualified for a fully funded scholarship, you could go and you'd still need to pay your food and accommodation, travel and those expenses on top, but you would get a fully funded scholarship for your course fees, which is significant funding. And these are the places I got this information from. So you can, if you're interested, just take a quick photo of this or ask Erika for the information and she can give it to you. This is the Royal College of Nursing and scholarshipset.com and collegedunia.com. So there are lots of opportunities if you're multilingual, because this is just the UK. I'm sure there's similar opportunities in the US, Australia, or if you speak Chinese or something, I'm sure there's similar opportunities in China. So there's many places that need or require good qualified healthcare assistants or nurses or doctors even. So yeah, I wish you the best and hope good luck in this course and good luck in the future. If any of you have any questions, please feel free to ask. No, I answered everything. Okay, wow. Yes, come forward, come forward. Yes.
I have a question. Oh yeah, let me introduce myself. My name is Sandy. Yes, I have a question. Why does England people prefer bread than rice?
It's a very good question. So in England, we have 4 seasons. Okay, we have winter, spring, summer, and autumn. The temperature never gets hot enough to grow rice. Yeah, so we cannot grow rice. So all the rice has to be imported. So we didn't start eating rice in the UK until we went to places like China, Africa, and India, where they grow rice and where they have rice. So because we have 4 seasons, we have lots of other crops, like grass crops, such as wheat, barley, malt, and there's several types of grasses, yes. And so we use a lot of wheat because we can, in the summer, we harvest it. We then grind it into a flour, and then it will last through the winter when we don't have any other crops, but the flour will keep, yeah, it won't go off. So we use flour to keep in the store, in the larder, and then we can make bread from it on a daily basis. So it's a bit like coffee season. You have coffee growing, and then you take all the beans, you process them, you dry them, and then you have green beans, and you can roast them whenever you need them. So similar with bread, with wheat, you can harvest the crop, separate the wheat from the chaff, and then, which is the husk, and then you can grind the wheat into a flour, keep it all year round, and make bread every day, which is very high in protein. And you can then have it with fruit or meat or salad, or toast it, grill it. It's quite a versatile flour. Yeah, because you can make batters with it, just like you make batter for crispy jamor, or on ayam or whatever. You have different batter. Could be from rice flour, could be wheat flour, could be durum wheat, could be, so once you have that flour, so that's, as I say, we had grass crops like wheat, malt, and barley, and oats is another one. So those were our main crops that we found ways to give a long shelf life to and preserve through the winter. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? No? Okay. So that's it. Next slide. So yes, thanks for listening, and I'll let Erica continue. Okay. Okay, Master Ceremony. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Alam. That was an amazing material. Does everybody agree? I mean, that was awesome. Yeah. Big applause again. Okay, guys, so now the moment we have all been waiting for. Do you know what we're gonna do next? Okay, right. It's time for English Camp competitions. Well, I hope that you guys ready to show your best performance. Everyone, let's enjoy and support each other. This session will be moderated by Santi. Santi Duyuhana, times is yours.
Yes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone feeling today? I hope you are all excited because now we are entering one of the most interesting part of our English camp, the public speaking competition. My name is Sandy and I will be your moderator for this session. Before we begin, let me proudly introduce our amazing judges. First, we have Mr. Wiranto MPT, a dedicated and experienced in this. And next, we are honored to have a special guest, a native speaker all the way from England, Mr. Alan John Sage. But before that, let me explain the rules briefly. First, each class sends 2 participants for each competition. And the second, each participant will have maximum 5 minutes to perform. And third, you can send thoughts, speak clearly, and most importantly, speak from your heart. And last, our judges will be scoring based on content, pronunciation, fluency, and confidence. For the first competition is storytelling. Okay, so let's not wait any longer. It's time to hear from our first brave speaker. Please welcome Alivia Yustari Putri. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Alivia Yustari Putri from class A. Today I'm gonna tell you guys about the legend of Toba Lake from North Sumatra. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a farmer named Toba. One day he went fishing and he caught a big golden fish. Little did he know, this fish was about to change his life. And then he went back home and put the fish in his house. When he came back to cook it, the fish was no longer to be seen. All he saw is some gold coins that were never there before. That's strange, right? And then he very shocked when he saw a stranger in his house, who is a beautiful girl sitting nicely in his living room. Toba didn't know that girl, and for a moment, Toba was speechless. Who are you? Why are you in here? In my house? Turns out the girl was the fish that Toba had caught. The gold coins that Toba found in the kitchen were the girl's scale. She was cursed to become a fish, and Toba had freed her from the curse. Pardon if I surprised you, Mr. Toba, but you took me here. I was the fish, now that I became a human being again. No, the girl is asking Toba, maybe he would accept her in his house as a servant. At first, Toba still confused, but finally agreed. Since that day, the beautiful girl lived in Toba's house, and not long after, Toba fell in love with the beautiful girl and they got married. The girl married with Toba with one condition, that he will never tell anybody about her past, and Toba agreed on the condition. Several months later, Toba's wife delivered to a baby boy, and they named him Samosir. But sadly, Samosir grew to be a very lazy boy, until one day his mother forced him to deliver food for his father in the rice field. At first, Samosir was too lazy. Even his mother finally got him to, but he didn't go to the field immediately. Why do I need to deliver this food? He stopped somewhere in the street and ate the food. And when he came to the field, he gave his dad the empty lunchbox. When Toba opened up his lunchbox, he found it empty. Toba was so mad. He was disappointed at Samosir. You are such a lazy and greedy boy. It has to be because you are the son of a fish. Samosir was heartbroken when heard that, and he came home crying, telling everything to his mother. Toba's wife, getting very disappointed, then asked Samosir to run to the highest hill he can find. Just then, the light blue sky turned into dark gray. Rain poured heavily, and a big flood came. When the rain stopped, all the water flooded in the small village and now had formed a beautiful lake that is the Toba Lake we all know. And the little island in the middle of the lake is called Samosir Island. And that is the end of my story. Thank you for your attention. I hope you can enjoy it. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wow, that's an amazing performance for Olivia. Maybe we can give a big applause again. Okay, so now let's move on to our next speaker for speech. Please welcome Isna Koiria Ningrum. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Isna Hoiraningrum and you can call me Isna. First of all, let thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala who has given us guidance, happiness, and mercies, so He allow us to meet here in the good place. Secondly, may salawat and salam to be with our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who has guided us to the better world. Nevertheless, the honorable judges, the honorable committee, and all of my blessed audience. Today, I stand before you all to talk about the vision we all share, a better Indonesia. But to achieve that vision, we must start with the most basic foundation. Yes, our health. Once again, our health. A healthy life is not just a personal goal, it's a national necessity. Imagine a country where every citizen is physically strong, mentally focused, and emotionally balanced. That's not a dream, it's possible, and it starts with our daily choices. Now let's look at the reality. According World Health Organization or WHO, non-communicable diseases like heart disease, stroke, and diabetes account for more than 70% of deaths in Indonesia. Such a horrible, right? Right? These diseases are largely preventable through a healthy lifestyle. So, what can we do? One, improve our nutrition. We have to move away from instant noodles, junk food, and sugary drink to fresh fruits, vegetables, and a clean water. A well-nourished body is more productive and less prone to illness. Second, get moving. A national survey found that 1 in 3 adults in Indonesia doesn't get enough physical activity, and we need to change that. A simple 30-minute walk every day can protect our hearts, boost our moods, and increase our energy. 3, care for our mental health. Many times we stay up all night because of homework or even games, and that's so dangerous. It can be so dangerous for our mental health. It can cause stress and overthinking. So come on, let's normalize to sleep 6 to 7 hours every day so that we don't feel sleepy and lazy in the morning. Let's not wait illness to remind us the value of health. Let's act now by making small step every day. Here's the deal. Try just one thing this week. 1, swap sugary drink to mineral water. 2, 30-minute walk. And 3, sleep 1 hour earlier. Together, let's build a healthier, stronger, and a better Indonesia, starting with ourselves. That's all about my speech for today. I hope it is helpful for us. Ayu Ting Ting is eating. Thank you for everything. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, the topic is so related for us as a nursing student, right? Okay, next is newscasting competition. Please welcome Marcella Adinda. The time is yours. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Marcel from class 1A. Okay. Good afternoon and welcome to Global Health today. I'm Marcel.
bringing you the latest and most exciting developments in the world of medical science. Today's headline, Medical Advance Groundbreaking Discovery that are reshaping the future of healthcare. Let's begin. In the field of cancer treatment, researchers in Japan have announced a major breakthrough in a personalized cancer vaccine. These new vaccines are designed to activate a patient immune system to target and eliminate tumor cause based on individual genetic profiles. An early trial has shown reduced tumor growth and improvement survival rates, offering renewed hope for patients with advanced stage cancer. In the United States, science have developed a wearable, cuff-free blood pressure monitor of the private continuous. Real-time reading, this non-invasive device expect to realize has hypertension management, making it easier for patient detect change early and prevent cardiovascular complication. Meanwhile, in the United Kingdom, a pioneering gene therapy for cystic fibrosis entering its final phase of clinical trial. The treatment, which corrects for genetic mutation at the root of the disease, could provide a long-term cure for persons living with this chronic condition. On another front, in sub-Saharan Africa, not new low-cost diagnosis tools are being developed to combat malaria more effectively. The helpful device powered by solar energy deliver rapid and accurate the result with minutes, critical in region with limited access to laboratories. This medical advance demonstrates not only scientific innovation, but also the global commitment to building a healthy future. However, as experts caution that equitable access remains a challenge, particularly in low-income and underserved communities. That's all for today. Helps today update. Stay with us for Global Stories That Matter. I'm Marcel, and this is Global Health Today. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay informed and stay healthy. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, so back to storytelling competition. Please welcome Nurul Arahman Najwa. Time is yours. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Nurul Arahima Najwa. I'm from 1A. Today I will present a folktale entitled Malin Kundang. A long time ago, in a small village near the beach in West Sumatra, a woman and her son lived. Malin Kundang lived with his mother, who raised him alone because his father has passed away when he was a baby. Malin grew up to be strong and hardworking. He helped his mother by catching fish and selling them. One day, while selling, Malin saw a merchant ship attacked by pirates. He bravely helped the merchant and defeated the pirates. Grateful, the merchant invited Malin to sail him to seek a better life. Malin agreed and left his mother behind. Years passed and Malin became rich. He owned a big ship and had many crew members. One day, his ship stopped near a small village. A new spirit
quickly that Malin had returned. His mother rushed to him, but when she approached Malin, now dressed elegantly and with his beautiful wife, denied knowing her. He was asked of her and called her a dirty, angry woman. Heartbroken, his mother begged and cursed him, saying he would turn into stone if he is otherwise. Malin ignored her and set sail. Suddenly, a storm hit. His ship was destroyed. Then he turned into stone, just as the gods had said. Advice for all of us, that is the story of Marin Kundang from West Sumatra with an important message for you all. Love your parents unconditionally in any condition. Never forget their God did for us. And thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, so next for speech competition, please welcome Livia Windiana. Time is yours.
Eating fast food, lying in bed all day. Sounds very comfortable, right? But did you know this will lead us to the abyss of serious health problems in the future? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me introduce myself. I am Livia Windiana Musudasari from Blitar Nursing Study Program, Class 1A. On this happy occasion, I would like to invite all of us to reflect on importance of a healthy lifestyle as the key to a better Indonesia. A healthy lifestyle is a lifestyle that includes the habit of eating nutritious food, exercising regularly, maintaining health, environmental hygiene, and managing stress well. Unfortunately, in this modern era, many of us are trapped in unhealthy lifestyle habits, such as consuming fast food and not moving enough. Did you know, according to data the Ministry of Health, non-communicable diseases such as diabetes and hypertension are increasing in Indonesia due to unhealthy lifestyles. This is a warning to all of us that health is not something that can be taken lightly. Health is the best investment we can make now for a bright future. Why do I say that? Because maintaining health is cheap and easy. We can breathe now with free oxygen. Unlike some people out there who pay expensive hospital bills just to be able to breathe. With healthy lifestyle, we can avoid these high costs. Dear ladies and gentlemen, let's start by taking certain steps in Indonesia. Let's start by taking certain in Indonesian, namely C. Cek kesehatan rutin. E. Tanyakan asap rokok. R. Rajin berolahraga. D. Diet seimbang. I. Istirahat yang cukup. K. Kelola stres. I emphasize that small changes every day, if done consistently, will definitely have a big impact on us in the future. Remember, our future starts from what we do today. With health body, we can contribute more optimally and advance a strong and prosperous Indonesia. The result that I can say, I personally apologize if my words did not please the audience. Thank you for your attention. See you next time.
Next for newscasting performance, please welcome Astaria Fitri Nur Hamidah. Time is yours.
Hello, good afternoon, viewers. Back again in Pradita News. Virtual and reliable. With me, Astaria Fitri, and this is the full news. The World Health Organization (WHO) has issued another warning regarding very worrying global health issues. A mysterious disease has reportedly killed 53 people in several countries, particularly in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The disease spreads very quickly, with mild symptoms, being high fever, vomiting, and internal bleeding. More worryingly, most of the victims died within just 1 to 2 days after the first symptoms appeared. Today, WHO is still investigating to ascertain the exact cause of the disease after laboratory research ruled out the possibility of Ebola and Marburg. Meanwhile, WHO has highlighted the world's air quality crisis. The latest data shows that only 7 countries meet WHO's annual air quality standards. These countries include Australia, New Zealand, the Bahamas, Barbados, Grenada, Estonia, and Iceland. WHO emphasizes that global collaboration and data driven policies are urgently needed to prevent wider health impacts, both from mysterious infectious disease and from the threat of worsening air pollution. There's less health information. Keep you and your family healthy and always stay up to date with the latest news only here. And I am Astaria Fitri. Thanks and see me out.
Next is storytelling performance. Please welcome Keisha Alicia Stefano. Time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, everyone. On the duties and the committees of this storytelling competition. Firstly, let's thank to Allah who gave us this opportunity to attend this program without any problem. Secondly, please let me introduce myself. My name is Keisha Lisa Stefano from class 1B, and here I want to tell you about a story from Indonesian folktale, and it's called Timun Mas. Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by lush forests and sparkling rivers, an old couple longed for a child. Each day, the old woman sat by the river, and the old woman tended their garden, hoping for a miracle. One sunny morning, the old woman called out, "Look, dear, there's a giant cucumber growing on the vine bigger than any I've ever seen." The old man hurried over, eyes wide with wonder. They carefully cut open the enormous cucumber, and to their amazement, a tiny baby girl rolled out, weeping softly. "What a miracle!" the old woman exclaimed. "We shall name her Timon Mas, meaning golden cucumber, for she came from this golden fruit." Timon Mas grew quickly, her louder, filling their home with joy. She was kind, clever, and brave, and the old couple loved her so dearly. But their happiness was shattered by a secret. Years ago, desperate for a child, they had a promise to a fearsome giant living deep in the forest. One evening, as the sun disappeared the horizon, the giant appeared at their doorstep. His voice rumbled like a thunder. "The time has come. Timon must bounce to me now," he crowed. The old couple trembled. The old woman pressed Timon must hand tightly. "We must find a way to save you," she whispered. Timon must look up, shining with determination. "I will not be taken. I will escape this giant," she said. Timon must look up. The old woman handed her a small pouch. "Inside are magical seeds," she explained. "If the giant chases you, throw this behind you. Each seed will grow into something to stop him." Timon must help them both. "Be careful," she promised, and ran into dense forest, her only but spirit strong. Heavy footsteps thundered behind her. "Stop, Timon Mars! You belong to me!" The giant growled. Timon Mars threw the first seat over her shoulder. Instantly, sharp bamboo shoots sprang up, blocking the giant's path. "You think this will stop me?" he snarled, twisting snowless turns. Timon Mars ran faster, throwing the second seat. Thick vines twisted around the giant's legs, holding him tight. "Go, you little pest!" he snarled, pushing through the thorns. Timon West was already far ahead. Soon, she reached a wide river shimmering under the moonlight. She threw the last seed into the lake. With a splash, the river swelled into a raging torrent. The giant howled in frustration. "No, I can't follow you." Timon West stood on the riverbank, breathing heavily but smiling. "I'm free," she whispered. She returned home to her anxious parents who embraced her with tears of relief. "You are so brave, Timon Mas," said the old woman softly. Timon Mas was smiled. "I learned that courage and cleverness can overcome even the greatest dangers." From that day on, Timon Mas lived happily with her loving parents, a symbol of hope and bravery for the village. And the giant, he never dared to come here again. Probably that's from me. Probably that's all from me. Thank you for attention to my stories today. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We move to speech competition. Please welcome Najwa Azahra. Time is yours. Assalamualaikum. Good evening. today? I hope you are good today. Okay, my study in front of you all is about delivering my speech today. And in this very happy place, I'm gonna tell a speech. Okay, firstly, honorable the judges, respected committee members, fellow participants, and all my friends beloved. Thank you. Okay, first of all, let us thank to God Almighty for the blessings and good health that allow us to gather here today. My name is Najwa Zahra. I'm from First B. Hello, my First B. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, and it is a great honor for me to stand before you and deliver a speech entitled Healthy Lifestyle for Better Indonesia. Okay, I want to talk about something simple but super important, our lifestyle. Okay? Yeah, the way we live every day, what we eat, how we rest, and how we move. You might think it's a personal thing, but believe me, it affects our country. Indonesia is a country full of potential. We have a young population, rich natural resources, and a cultural that values togetherness. But there is one thing that we often take for granted, our health. What is a healthy lifestyle? Anyone else? Okay. A healthy lifestyle is not just about looking fit or going to the gym. It means eating nutritious food, drinking enough water, exercising regularly, and getting enough sleep, and taking care of our mental well-being. In other words, it's about balance in our body, our mind, and our daily habits. But let's face the reality. According to the Ministry of Health, more than 20% of Indonesian adults are overweighting. And lifestyle-related diseases such as diabetes and heart problems are rising every year. This is not just a personal issue, it's a national challenges. Unhealthy lifestyle are reduce your productivity, increasing healthcare costs, and shorter life expectancy. Imagine the impact of if our young generation grows up with poor health. How can we build a strong, innovative Indonesia if our people are struggling just to stay healthy? Can you imagine that? I never imagined that too. And on the other hand, a healthy lifestyle creates a ripple effect. Healthy students perform better in school. Healthy workers contribute more to the economy. Healthy families are happier and more united. When we invest in health, we invest in our future. The government has taken steps like launching the Germas, encouraging people to exercise and eat better. But real change starts with us, the people. We don't need to start with big things. Start small, walk, bike, instead of always using a motorcycle. Choose fruits instead of fried snacks. Drink more water, get enough rest, and limit encourages friends and family to do the same. As the famous saying goes, health is not everything. But without health, everything is nothing. So, living healthy doesn't have to be complicated. Just small choices. Made every day walking more, drinking more water, sleeping well, being kind to our minds too. Let's not wait for change from the top. Let's start with ourselves. Because a better Indonesia, it starts with a healthier you and me. Thank you so much for listening. Let's live well and let's grow strong together. Thank you so much for your attention. I said wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, so next is newscasting performance. Please welcome Rafli Firmansyah. Time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, honorable judges and everyone here. My name is Rafli Firmansyah from class 1B. Thank you for giving me the chance to read the news today. Today's news is about typhoid fever and antibiotics. Typhoid fever is a disease caused by bacteria called Salmonella typhi. Usually, doctors use antibiotic to cure typhoid, but now many antibiotics do not work well anymore. The bacteria are getting stronger and can fight the medicine. A study for 22 shows that in countries like Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and India, the typhoid bacteria are becoming resistant to many antibiotics. This means if people get typhoid, it's harder to treat them. These strong bacteria are also spreading to other places like Africa, the United Kingdom, the United States, and Canada. Experts are worried because if this continues, it will be very hard to cure typhoid. Right now, there is only one antibiotics called azithromycin. There is still work for many people, but scientists are afraid that the bacteria will also become resistant to this medicine soon. According to the World Health Organization, every year, 11 to 20 million people get typhoid fever, and up to 161,000 people die from it in Indonesia. Typhoid is also a big problem. A health survey in 2018 showed that about 1.7% of people have typhoid. Many of them are children and teenagers. These show that typhoid is still a serious health issue in our country. Because of this, we must use antibiotics careful and only when needed. Also, we needed to keep clean and eat healthy to prevent typhoid fever. That is all for today news. Thank you for listening. Once again, I'm Rafli Firmansyah from class 1B. Have a nice day and stay healthy and stay vigilant. Thank you.
Okay, before we move to next performance, we kindly reminder to next performance to not move too much. Okay, so the next performance is storytelling. Please welcome Najwa Sulva Sofiana.
Okay. Hello, judges and everyone. My name is Najwa Zulfa Sofiana, and I'm a representative of Class 1B. And here I will tell you about Indonesian folklore story, Crying Stone or Batu Menangis. And this is the story. Once upon a time, in a small village in Kalimantan, there lived an old widow. She lived with her daughter. Her daughter was a beautiful girl. However, she had a bad personality. She was an arrogant and lazy girl. She never helped her mother do the housework. She also did not care about her mother's problem. Every day she put makeup and wore her best clothes. She used to desire to be seen as a rich and beautiful girl. One day, the old widow and her daughter went to the market. They want to buy something in the market. The location of the market was really one way from their house, so they had to walk miles away. At first, actually, her daughter refused to accompany her mother, but finally she agreed with one condition. I will go with you, but you must walk behind me, said the daughter to her mother. She didn't want to walk side by side with her mother. Although her mother was very sad, she agreed to walk behind her daughter. The daughter walked in front of her mother. She wore a beautiful dress. Meanwhile, Her mother walked behind her. Her dress was dirty and ugly. On the way to the market, everybody admired the girl's beauty. But they were also curious. Behind the beautiful girl, there was an old woman with a dirty and ugly dress. The girl and her mother looked very different. Hello, beautiful girl. Who is the old woman behind you? Is she your mother? They asked. No, she's not my mother. She is my servant. The girl answered. Her mother was very sad to hear that, but she didn't say anything. She could understand that her daughter was ashamed. They continued their journey to the market, and then a young man met them and asked, Hey, sweetie, is that your mother who is walking behind you? No way, she's really different from me. How could you say that she's my mother? She's my servant, replied the girl. And again, the girl answered that her mother is her servant. She used to say that her mother was her servant every time people asked. Her mother was very disappointed. She couldn't bear it. Her daughter's sentence had hurt her. The poor widow finally prayed to God. Oh, God, I can't stand this. My daughter always humiliates me. I'm so disappointed with her. Please give her punishment. With the power of God, suddenly the girl's leg turned into stone. Slowly, the process continued to the upper part of the girl's body. The girl was panicked. Mother, please forgive me. She cried and asked the mother to forgive her. But it was already too late. Her whole body finally became a big stone, although all of girl's body had turned into the stone. People could see that stone was crying. Until now, people can still see tears falling down from the stone. Then people call it batu menangis or crying stone. That's a little story that I can convey to you all. Thanks for your attention and thank you. Goodbye.
So this is the last performance today from newscasting. Please welcome Juan Jasa Raditya. Time is yours.
Good afternoon, honorable judges and everyone here. My name is Juan Cesar Raditya from class 1B. Today I will share important news about the World Health Organization or WHO and its current problems. WHO is an international organization that helps countries fight disease and improve health. Many countries give money to WHO so it can run health programs around the world. But recently, WHO has faced a big problem. The United States, which was the biggest donor, stopped paying the money to WHO. This happened during the presidency of Donald Trump. In 2022 and 2023, the US gave about 1.3 billion US dollar to WHO. But in 2024, the US stopped paying membership fees. It also expected that US will not pay in 2025. Because of this, WHO has a lot kept in its budget. This means WHO has less money to run its program. As a result, WHO must reduce the number of staff and cut many programs. This is very sad because WHO has more than 8,000 employees worldwide. Many workers, especially at the WHO headquarters in Geneva, may lose their job. WHO runs many important programs, this including fighting disease like HIV and tuberculosis, helping mother and babies, and and family planning. Without enough money, this program will be smaller or may be stopped. The WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said they will reduce the number of managers and departments. The number of senior managers will go down from 12 to 7, and department will be reduced from 76 to 34. So some WHO offices in rich country may also close. This funding problem is not only because of the US, other countries have also reduced their financial aid. We happen that member countries will increase their contribution to help fix this problem. Experts warn that if the US stopped funding global health program, millions of people could die in this year, 15 years. For example, without US support, 50 million more people could die from AIDS by 2014. Many children will become orphaned because of this. Most of this that would happen in Africa countries like Mozambique, Nigeria, and Uganda. The loss of funding would also cause many new HIV infections. The situation shows how important it is for countries to work together and support global health. Cutting funds for health programs and cause serious harm, especially to poor countries that depend on health. In conclusion, WHO is facing a big challenge because of budget cuts. The world needs to work together to support health program and save many lives. Thank you very much for listening. I'm John Cisaraditya from Class 1B. That is all from me today. I will take my leave now. Have a great day and goodbye.
Okay, that's the last performance. Maybe we can give a big applause again for all participants. Okay, thank you so much to all participants for your amazing effort and confidence today. Maybe I'd like to give a moment to our judges to add or share a comment regarding the performance we've seen today.
Okay, thank you very much. There were some really great presentations there. Some were better than mine, I think, yeah? No? I think some were very, very good. And it's difficult when you present to be like fluid and to be confident. It's very difficult. And sometimes when you prepare your notes, it's difficult to know how to structure the performance. For me, when I do my presentation, I have some slides to go with, but all the words I just make up as I go along. So it's more of a ad lib. I just go with the flow. But when you're actually presenting, I think it's a bit harder because you have to follow the structure that you've laid down in your notes, in your documents. You have to follow that structure because otherwise it won't make sense and you'll miss bits out that may be important. So, but I thought all of you had very good high level of English, but I think maybe more tonation, more expression, more personality should come out in your presentations because that's what they are. They're a presentation. But it's not easy. I know, I've done a few of these talks at schools and some of them are okay and some are probably pretty bad. But I thought you did a very good effort and your grasp of English is very good. And doing performances like this just will help you to learn and to help you develop and to be more confident and more comfortable with language and presentations. Because if you go into nursing or any profession, there are always times where you need to speak in front of people and to articulate either what you expect from people or what you want to give to people or what your company or your business is doing or what you're doing in nursing. You might need to talk to patients, you might need to talk to bosses, you know, like your doctors or other people, you need to communicate. And so projects like this will help you to develop those skills, and hopefully you'll keep growing and keep continuing. I enjoyed your presentations and well done. Okay.
There is any comment for Mr. Wiratno?
Yeah, just additions from Mr. Alan. I think so nice, so good, so sis. I think your performance is very good, and also English is very good. This is not, so example, this is not English language department, but it is nurse department. I think it is a very good performance, and also you always practice and practice when you use, for example, storytelling. But storytelling is always your pronunciations, intonations, and also like body language, eye contacts, and also news performance. News performance is good, but if you give some sound and also the pictures, this is better for you. And also next, what is speech? Speech. Don't read anything if you can speak in front of this. So example, your performance. Don't read anything, but you just memorize us all about your speech. I think so nice, so good. Thank you.
Maybe any comment for Miss Sirka? Okay. Okay, thank you so much for our judges for the valuable feedback. And that's what's a wrap for our competition today. Thank you for your kind attention and great enthusiasm. Now I'd like to return the session to Fatima, our wonderful MC.
Okay, Santi, thank you for your moderation. And everyone, give applause to all of you again. It was so amazing. Like, how can you guys speak so good? Like, wow. Okay. After that exciting competition, I know you guys are tired and all. So, but wait. Before that, we have to photo shoot together. Take a picture together. Okay, guys, stand up, please.